Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
First, a word from this month's sponsor, Ethico.
In the delicate arena of compliance, every conversation matters. Traditional methods can leave callers feeling unheard, but Ethico changes the game. Our empathetic interview technique reshapes compliance calls into powerful, compassionate interactions, ensuring no crucial detail is missed. It's about creating a conversation that matters, that resonates, that makes a difference. Be the change in your compliance approach. See the transformation for yourself at ethico.com/CPN. Book a demo, try our free ROI calculator, and explore the white paper by Tom Fox, The ROI of Compliance.
The Daily Compliance News for April 5, 2024, The Right to Disconnect edition. And we begin with that story from the Washington Post, as a California lawmaker wants to enact legislation which gives workers the right to disconnect. When your boss shoots you an email at 9 p.m., do you answer it? Do you respond? Do you go back to work? Well, under a proposed law, it would give California workers the right to disconnect as norms around work have vastly changed. And there is obviously pushback from the business community, but 40 hours a week is really 60 hours a week under the new normal after the pandemic. So it's going to be interesting to see what California does. So what is bribery and corruption? Well, at JFK Airport in New York, as reported by the Washington Post, taxi dispatchers have been charged in a, quote, reprehensible, end quote, bribery scheme to let cabbies skip passenger pickup lines. I can't think of a more invidious bribery scheme, so watch out for those cabbies. Next up from the Financial Times. What happens when a banker steals money from, or dirty money from, crooks who were his clients? Well, that's apparently what happened, as a Swiss banker has been charged with multiple counts of theft, money laundering, and fraud, using client funds to recapitalize the financially troubled lender he worked for. It is a small private bank in Switzerland, notorious even today for its banking secrecy laws. Yet the case is just the latest in a series of scandals that expose the discretion of Swiss bankers and wealth managers typically have over their clients' assets, and the potential abuse that follows it. And our final story is one that continues to be with us, and that's, of course, the LIBOR scandal. As conservative MPs in the United Kingdom want city traders Tom Hayes and Carlo Palumbo, who were convicted for prosecuting, or rather for rigging, the benchmark LIBOR rates, having to have their convictions overturned. They were tried and convicted, sentenced, went to prison, got out of prison, and now, last week, the Court of Appeals dismissed a bid to overturn their convictions, but 2 MPs want to have those convictions completely overturned. So the imbroglio over LIBOR continues, and we may get a decision out of the High Court in the UK.
As I mentioned at the start of this podcast, this month's sponsor for the entire Compliance Podcast Network is Ethico. Have you ever wondered how to show the ROI of your compliance program? Have you struggled with the budgeting process, getting the funds you want for your compliance program? Well, I've partnered with Ethico to put together a white paper on the ROI of compliance, which shows you not only how to demonstrate ROI, but also how to speak finance when you're sitting across from the CFO with your budget proposals. Check out the website and get the white paper. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.